Welcome back to Here's the Takeaway podcast. I'm your host, Kim Bindle. Today, we're celebrating something truly special. 50 years with WBCL, half a century of stories, music, ministry, and connection. And joining me is someone who has helped guide this station with wisdom, vision, and a love for our listeners. Our Executive Director, Ross McCampbell.
Thank you.
Yay!
And a lot of guesswork.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Very glad.
50 years.
Oh, man, I can't believe it.
It's just crazy.
It really is.
When you think
It
about
really is.
WBCL, what is your your memory of its beginnings?
Well, I was in prepping for this. I was looking at some old articles and some history type articles from before I was here, and I learned some things. And so actually this is pretty good stuff, I think. Way back, WBCL through Fort Wayne Bible College, because this was started by Fort Wayne Bible College in 1976.
Okay.
That's why 50 years of this entity. However, I learned that there were faculty with Fort Wayne Bible College who would do devotionals and spiritual things in local media, local radio, going back to 1947.
Oh, wow.
So
We're older than we think we are.
yeah, that entity was doing community ministry through some local radio stations. You would know who they are, and TV
Okay.
as well. And that was going on from 1947 through the early 1960s.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was pretty cool. And what happened was they got canceled by the last radio station because of the religious content.
Interesting.
And that got the college to thinking, hey, we still want to minister to the community.
Yeah.
Let's just start researching how we do this media thing on our own. And so that's how the idea got started for a radio station.
Wow.
And then it took them a little while to get it going and find the right people and the FCC and all that kind of stuff. But by 1976, they had the process done with the FCC, and January 12th, 1976, WBCL was born.
It's amazing.
It is.
That's something I didn't know, and I'm glad you found
Until
that out.
recently,
It's really cool.
I didn't know that.
To see the importance of it in our community. And then, we have listeners that call in all the time that say they've listened since it started. So I think the celebration of 50 years is going to be so amazing. But for a lot of stations across the nation, they don't have this kind of length to celebrate. What do you think the secret sauce has been for 50 years of WBCL?
And I have been giving that a lot of thought. And there's no one saucy ingredients. There's multiple ingredients. Okay, I would say the most important ingredient is the mission. And now naturally that's part of my job, but I'm made that way. That's the big one. It's still the same mission, but part of our saucy ingredients is our relationship with our listeners, our local feel. In other words, it's our listeners know it's quite possible they could be going to the grocery and bump into you,
Right.
or me, or anyone on the air, anyone who works here. And then it's a combo between the music and one thing that we've had throughout, and we may touch on this later, is our sense of humor. I think we have a genuine sense of humor that we've never lost.
We try.
We try. I mean, I didn't say it's a great sense of humor.
We try.
But we have a sense of
That's
humor.
right. Definitely. Every station has a defining moment, and WBCL has definitely evolved from the kind of music that's been played to just how things are done. How do you think that's affected this 50th birthday celebration?
Like a key moment, a defining moment. I think it's rare that a personal moment combines with your professional moment. but for me, it did. And for long timers, they're going to know this story, but there's a lot of people who are new to the BCL family. Former employee, and he was key to kind of recruiting me here. I was working in Tennessee, and I got a call from Jeff Carlson. He was the morning guy, and it was not a team show other than we had a news director at that time still, but it was just Jeff. And he was my first contact with WBCL. And they had just built this building that we're in. It was brand new. Everything was new. The equipment was new and all that. And
how long has that been?
I've been here.
I gotta
no,
ask.
It's all right. I'm not embarrassed
we're celebrating 50 years.
I'm just blown away by it. How quickly time goes by. I worked at 3 other stations before I came here, but it was early in my career. So I knew a good gig when I found one.
That's right.
That was when he called and I talked to him. It was 1989. So I came here in January of 1990. So our birthday year would be my 36th year.
Wow.
Here. Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
But Jeff was my first contact. We even shared a cubicle office space for a while and went to the same church. For those who don't know, he was killed in a terrible accident with a semi head-on, and that was in December of 1995. And that's just an experience you're never going to forget. I mean, just on a personal level, the things that you go through. We grieved as a staff, but what really hit me, and I've shared the stories with others personally. And I think looking back, I think it was one of those key moments for this ministry as a whole, because the family had all of us on staff in the procession line at the funeral.
Wow.
The receiving line. That's what I want to say.
Right.
At the funeral service.
At Jeff's service.
Jeff's service. And which that in itself was, I'm young and just, nothing like that had happened in radio before, but even personally. But so, and we're talking, this was at one of the largest churches in Fort Wayne at the time. And it was packed to the gills. I mean, just standing room only. And so we're talking over 1,500 people, and we're in the receiving line, and people are sharing things. At first, you're just thinking, well, this is a great tribute to Jeff, and it was, and the ministry he had and his connection with his listeners. But as they're going through the receiving line, they're sharing with each of us, especially the DJs, specific personal things that we have shared on the air that either made them laugh or encouraged them. And just to the level of it totally took me back. And God used that for me personally to show me this is a calling. This is deeper than you just playing music at a radio station, being a DJ. This is deeper than a career move. Very deeply changed my trajectory in this, because I didn't plan on staying for more than 2 years.
Oh,
this was just a stop on my resume.
Wow.
That was my original intent. But it's just like God took me by the neck and said, take a look at this, and realize the depth of ministry that you do, that I was doing at the time, that those of us on the air and even off the air who are part of the process, how deep it goes, how personal it is to the listener. And to me, that changed my trajectory. I think that was also kind of a shifting point for this ministry. We didn't lose our sense of humor. You couldn't, because Jeff was all about humor.
Right.
There wasn't a funnier guy on the air, and he truly was one of a kind, probably the most popular show in town. It was before we did ratings, but I guarantee you it was probably the #1 show at the time. We didn't lose that, but I think we went way deeper in our understanding of how much ministry this is, that it was more than just a radio station.
Yeah.
And all that.
Speaking on that, the mission of WBCL, how has it stayed the same and how has it evolved?
Well, our mission is to communicate God's redemptive love and truth, love, grace, and truth through captivating media. Now, used to be a little longer, and when college was a little closer, it was a little more cerebral, a lot of words, but that's been the gist of our mission. In the early days, it was through captivating radio, of course. Well, now it's captivating media. So that's one way it's evolved. It's still the same mission. You know, it's the gospel. But now we've expanded our tool chest.
Right.
And what we use to do that, to convey that, and to reach people. So now it's on radio, but your phone is also like a transistor radio for those who remember those. But it's a radio. Your computer's a radio. The app, all that. So it's a podcast. So this is other ways we can do the mission.
Right. As we celebrate 50 years, when you think about all of the folks who contributed, like Jeff and like others, what do you hope they would be proud of as we get ready to celebrate this big 50th anniversary?
I gave that some thought too. And I think number one, I think it would be that the mission goes on. It's still the mission. One thing that's not changed is our listener relationship. The listeners are still family. We're there for them. I mean, as much as we possibly can be, and how God uses that. And I would still say we still have our sense of humor. If we ever lose that, then just forget about it.
That's right. And so when we think about that, is there a story that you think about in the years that you've served here at WBCL that people may not know that kind of went on behind the scenes that maybe it was during share, maybe it was just during transition of new position? I was just curious if you had any
a hard
stories.
time because you've been here so long. There's so many things like that. I mean,
Right.
I remember one, there was one Three Rivers Festival parade. I didn't have to do it because I think I had to be on the air, but I remember Scott and Jeff, and it was all hands on deck. There was I think a really bad storm or whatever, or somebody changed their mind on what you used to have to do a float. You used to have to build a float for it. And I just remember a last minute change of everything. And they were like up all night, the Friday night before the Saturday morning parade, totally changing over the float.
Oh, wow.
I remember that was one big thing that nobody would have known, waving to you in the parade.
Right.
Another parade was like a total rainstorm. We were all drenched rats waving to people. But there's a lot of the stuff, I took my show on the road a lot. And enjoyed that. So there were a lot of instances where you'd show up at the event and the people there like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Or whatever, and somebody didn't tell somebody. Distinctly remember that. I think the first couple of years that I would take the show to the Allen County Fair in Lima. And, you had to set up the tent, you had to set up equipment and all that. And there would be equipment parked there. And just having to say, hey, no, we got permission. Stuff like that. And you had to really scramble and hurry to get everything on and hooked up before you went on the air.
Smiling.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody knows.
Trying to keep that witness up.
We're just all ready. Yes.
That's
great.
Things like that.
Awesome. Well, I promise you the staff did not put me up to asking you this question, but I'm just curious. As the ED, what's been the moment when you felt most proud of your team?
No, you know what? That wasn't that hard of an answer. I would say really now and within the past 18 months, I don't remember us going through as much change and transition in my time here. Just not counting Jeff in any crisis situation, but I'm just talking about this has been probably about the last 18 months or so has just been one nonstop transition in so many areas. And here I'm in a room with 4 relatively new employees in this grand scheme of things.
Right, sure.
Some just freshly picked off the tree.
That's right.
And so, but I've been very proud at the way our longtime staff, the longer timers, you're not short term, but you're intermediary staff. Just how everybody has adapted, and that's been kind of a theme through the years. But I've been especially proud of it here, and just very recently. This past year has just been incredible with 2 retirements and podcasting.
Yes.
And the things we've had to adapt to.
Yeah.
No, I really have been. I've been very pleased and proud.
We have a beautiful family of listeners who are incredibly loyal. When you think about WBCL and how the station has served the community and the community has helped to serve the community through WBCL, what do you think WBCL moving forward is going to do in terms of helping to be there for our listeners moving forward in the next 50 years?
I really think we're at a point in society and in Christendom where we've got to remember we're all one body. I mean, we are all the body of Christ. So if you're watching, listening right now, you're every bit a part of that same body of Christ as we are. And there's nobody who is elevated above anybody. And I think we got to get back to that. And I think the next 50 is going to be crucial that we remember that we do this thing together. Christianity is not a loner sport. We have to encourage each other, lift each other, build each other up. I think it's a big part of our ministry. It's what really zings me about what we do. We get to do that in an intimate way, one-on-one with many at the same time. But I think we've got to remember that even as the universal body of Christ. Maybe too deep of an answer. I don't know.
No, it's good, because I was getting ready to ask you if you could leave a message or a blessing for the WBCL family, the staff, the listeners, the supporters, as we step into the future. And I think you just answered that beautifully. To just continue to love on each other and to care for each other the best way we can. Smiling, always smiling, And so I appreciate you, Ross, and for how you've served WBCL and really have gotten to see a lot of the 50 years, not all of it, but it's just been fun to hear the history as well. I thought I'd have a little fun with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so are you up for a little lightning round? Is that okay?
Suck it to me.
This is the one time you get to ask your boss some fun stuff. Here we go. All right, no, he's always great to ask him anything. He knows.
And if not, we'll edit this out.
My famous thing is, do you have 5 minutes? Oh, he's like, I don't know. Do I? I don't know. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. What was the first Christian song or artist you ever loved?
Imperials. They introduced me to contemporary Christian music.
Okay.
And it'd be Oh Buddha, Praise the Lord.
And they backed up Elvis, didn't they? I thought they did.
Well, way back Imperials did.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the Russ Taff-led Imperials, that era. No, I don't go before that era.
Okay.
They were a different group.
All right. Coffee in the morning, essential or optional?
Life-giving, essential nectar of the Lord.
Okay. If WBCL had a theme song for the 50th year, what song would you pick?
Still Crazy after all these years. No, that's a secular song, but that's the first one. But no, I'd probably, I'll get spiritual. I'd be Move, Keep Walking, Toby Mac.
Yeah, that's a great
one. We're not
one.
done. We're not done.
I love that. What's one thing your team would say you always say?
This one I want to hear feedback from others.
I got one.
I want to hear it. Yeah,
it's like herding cats.
Oh, yeah, I do say that.
You do say that.
I do say that.
It's like
when people ask me
cats.
what I do here, I say I'm a cat herder.
Yes.
But
I don't know how I feel about it, but you know.
Oh, it's not a slam. It's just a description. You've got all these types. You get them looking in the same direction at the same time.
Everybody
That's a big
everybody
accomplishment.
line up. This is true.
I picked when you're trying something new like podcasting, I often say, well, we just got to live through it once.
Yes,
I do
you do say that.
through it, and
yes.
then we'll figure it out. But
I've heard you say that a time or two for sure. Yes. Okay. What radio trends are you secretly glad are left behind?
reading cancellations on the air.
Yay!
School cancellations, church cancellations, weather-related cancellations, whatever, you name it. That used to be a long, arduous, painful process. We'd had policy after policies of being on call for Sunday mornings or staying late after work or coming in early because you had to read cancellations, which were sometimes 15, 20 minutes long. No, you never got a song in.
Right.
Do I feel passionate about this? Yes, I do. And,
Okay, this is a lightning round. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
All right, we're losing our lightning here. All right. Let's see. Favorite moment with WBCL that always makes you smile?
Grable Country Fair. That was one of the events I used to take my evening show to.
Oh.
When I first came here, it was the evening show.
Okay.
6 to 9 p.m. Live. And we would go to the Grable Country Fair, and we would have the cherry pit spit contest and all kinds of other contests that we did. Lynn Ford would always join me. She's a former employee here. She's now retired. And we would have she was great. She was up for any fun.
Pits?
She was good at it. Yes, she was very good at it.
Okay.
I think I still got farther than her, but she was very good at it. And everybody, I mean, there was always a crowd gathered. We had measured it out, the different lines you had to beat and all that. So,
all right.
yeah, that was
All right,
fun.
let's keep with the lightning here.
Yep,
all right.
sorry.
If you could instantly learn any skill for the next 50 years of radio, what would it be?
Podcasting.
Oh,
Although it probably won't last beyond 5. Who knows? Whatever the next thing we got to learn.
You're off to a great start
Gotta
today.
learn.
I think it's fine. Yeah. What was your dream job when you were 10?
Didn't have a dream job, but I did have a goal, very clear goal, and it was age 9 that I actually had this goal.
Okay.
No lie, not lying.
Okay.
I wanted to learn how to play tuba or sousaphone and be in the Ohio State Marching Band and dot the I when they do Script Ohio on the field.
And you did all 3 of those.
And I did it.
Yes, you did. That's a pretty good goal for a 9-year-old, and I'm impressed that you did it. That's amazing. Yes. And you like that team, right?
The other phrase that I often use around here would be "Go Bucks," but I was going to hold.
Yes, that is the phrase that he says a lot around. You should see his office. All right. What's one thing you think everyone should experience at least once in radio?
Now, if you're a DJ, I would say take your show on the road. There's just no better. It gets you ready for anything. So if anything happens when you're back in the studio, it doesn't compare with the things that can happen when you go on the road. Now, did you mean it that way, or is there another, or did you mean as a listener?
Yeah,
Okay,
I meant it because these are yours.
Yeah, I would. That would be my answer.
All right, in 3 words, describe WBCL at 50.
Still on mission.
Perfect. Awesome. Ross, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's fun.
Appreciate you being here too. We are celebrating 50 years. Can you believe it? And we've enjoyed spending some time with our very own Executive Director, Ross McCampbell. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening.